so like just maneuvering around the stage, mixing in dashing, wave dashing, just trying to get all around.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that sounds really good.
And then I've also tried on top of that to just at random points, like while I'm practicing by myself, also work in just like, okay, I'm dashing, dash, wave dash, and then I'll be like, okay, shine, wave dash, that way I can
Yeah.
wave shine and just get that like kind of like a second nature thing. So I don't have to think about it as much. And I feel like as I've been practicing the movement more, of course, that just has been happening alongside where I'm like, okay, I'm not having to think about it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Awesome. So I think what we'll do actually is let's watch a bit of that VOD first, and then what I like to do when I watch VODs and we're talking about training routines and all that stuff is just to pick out a few different like execution mistakes and like tech you feel uncomfortable with and stuff like that we can get from whilst you're playing, and then we can sort of incorporate that into your practice.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to send that VOD over that you said you had, either just chuck the Slippy file in the Discord, or like if it's YouTube or whatever it is, Twitch.
Yeah, I'll do this Slippy file because I think if I were to look for it on Twitch, I think it's like a 4-hour VOD I have to dig through.
Slippy's a lot nicer anyway, just because you can do like frame by frame and stuff, so that's quite nice. Awesome.
So I believe that game, it was against a Peach. So I picked that one, of course, to also see progress on like keeping floaties up.
Okay.
That was in, I think this past weekend. Yeah, it was in Scrub Summit, one of the like NA newbie tournaments.
Yeah, I think about it.
I was in the bronze bracket, all the way at the bottom, of course. But it was winners quarters.
Okay.
And I lost the set, but I felt like that match I played better than I did like some of my other matches.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, yeah, I mean, you can learn anything from like all kinds of different levels of your gameplay, right? But yeah, having an idea of like which games you played well in, which games you played not so great in. Sorry, I'm just reinstalling my Slippy real quick because it was being a bit buggy.
I'm gonna open up a document as well. So
yeah, sounds good.
Ready? Go! Ready?
Alright, yeah, let me know when you're good to go.
Yep, I'm all good to go.
Okay, awesome.
Go!
Okay, I'll just watch a few stocks first.
I feel like I think I didn't start playing well until like I was 2 stocks down.
That's fair enough.
But the whole time, I was just focusing on like, okay, keeping her up, keeping her in an awkward spot, throwing out those back airs when I had her in the like corner, of course, as well.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, no, I can definitely tell like when you are comboing, you're at least trying to like not down her back down, and trying to like keep her in the air a bit more, which is good. Nice. Nice. Did I link you last time the thing where when you're like actionable, like when you can move, your character will flash green?
Yeah. And so with that as well, I think while I was practicing and like warming up as well, so I played a few of my friends before. I was just focusing a lot on seeing when I flash green, especially after like aerials and whatnot.
Okay. Cool. I'll just make a quick document for us to work with. Okay. Yeah, so in terms of execution stuff, first of all, I'd say a few of the main things I saw was, wave dashing out of your shines, I think was quite a big one. So like wave shining. Do you feel pretty comfortable with that already, or is that something...
I'm a little bit more comfortable than I was. And I've just been working on it pretty much every single day.
Okay. Nice.
I think the only days I've missed recently were like Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to hear. So, so when we do like the sort of tech skill part of this, we'll go through a lot of these things and like see how you're doing with them so far, and if there's anything you might need to change with it. But I've wrote that down. Okay.
I remember too on this first stock, there's some random parts where like I'm throwing things out right here.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened mentally. I can't remember, but I feel like I kept, I don't know, putting my hand on the C stick for some reason.
Yeah, it does look like you seem quite uncomfortable versus Peach, honestly. It feels like you don't have as much awareness of like where...
I don't know what she wants.
Yeah, like where the character's gonna put out her moves and stuff like that, So we can go over that. I'm just watching over this once more to see if there's any really big like execution stuff we can talk about. Those back airs are really good. Nice. Yeah, okay. I don't think there's too much more execution stuff to talk about. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about like Peach first of all, and we can sort of like extend this to other characters as well. First of all, have you ever actually like played as Peach before? Like moved around with the character at all, or done anything in game with her?
No.
No. Okay, so that's one thing I would suggest doing first. Like first of all, just with every character, just like mess around with them a bit. You know, get used to their like physics. You know, like how they fall, how they move on the stage. And I would also recommend looking at this site. So it's called Melee Frame Data. And I don't want you to learn any. Yeah, so I don't want you to learn any numbers or anything. But I just want you to like, you know, you could even do this just like one character a day. Like, just go look at Peach, and just sit and watch some of these like gifs for a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if you. I mean, you said you've been on this site before, right?
Yeah, I was on there looking mostly at like Fox and Falco stuff.
Yeah. No, it's good for that. But yeah, I think just looking through these for every character and just getting a sense of like, you know, oh, that's sort of how big Peach's back air is, or like, you know, like, oh, down smash hits like, you know, below her like this, but there's this sort of like blind spot above her, right? Like those sorts of things. And so you want to sort of like when you see them do the move, you want to sort of be able to like almost visualize the hitboxes like in your head, and know like where they're hitting. So I think that's something pretty useful to do, because that's going to sort of tell you like where you need to position, right? Like if you think the Peach is going to do a dash attack, you don't really want to be like in front of her like this, right? Like you probably want to be like back here or maybe up here, you know?
Right.
So that would be one thing I would do. So in general, versus Peach, you generally win the situations where it's sort of like you're on the ground here, and she's on the ground here. Like you're on the same sort of plane, right? Like you're both level with each other, like this. And you also generally win when it's sort of like maybe get rid of these. Maybe you're down here and she's up here. So they're the two like main situations you sort of win. The ones that are sort of bad for you are, and this is Falco versus pretty much any character, is say if you're over here and Peach is at like an angle to you.
Right.
So you can see there's this sort of like 45-degree angle here. And the reason that's bad for Falco is just that he doesn't really have any hitboxes that hit over here, right? Like when he's facing forward, you know, the only two moves he really has is like up smash and forward air. And both of those aren't that great, right? You know, they're quite laggy, they don't really lead to much a lot of the time. So this is a situation you don't really want to be in, where she's at the 45. And if you think about it from Peach's side, if we just go back to her hitboxes quickly, you know, let's look at forward air, right? Like, look at what angle this is hitting at, right?
Yeah.
It's that down and it's that 45 degree. Same with like her back air as well, right? If she's coming down on top of you like this. So that's what we want to try and avoid. The only exception to this is if we have our back turned. Because if we have our back turned and we're facing this way, right? Then we have back air, right? Which is going to sort of cover like this sort of zone here. Right? And we also have up tilt as well, which is another one. Slightly worse, but still covers that sort of zone, right? Sort of like this sort of hitbox. So that's what we want. So we want to try and get Peach in line with us, either horizontally or vertically, and we want to stop her from being at a 45 degree. And that's Falco versus nearly any character, I'd say.
Yeah, I
is
feel like
you sort of win in those two positions.
Looking at especially in the losing position. I see that now, like with a lot of characters.
Yeah. I mean, let's go
that-
through it, right? Like, give me a couple of examples that you can sort of think of.
I mean, Sheik Fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's
Um,
look at Sheik. Forward arm. Hits at that angle, right?
Yep. Also, I've been hit by Doc's Nair at that angle as well.
Because
Usually it just sticks out so long.
yeah, it sticks out so long, and like, yeah, this move hits sort of horizontally, but if somebody jumps into you, right, they sort of go in an arc like this.
That's
and,
usually how that.
Yeah, and this portion here is where they're coming at that 45-degree angle again, right? So yeah, so it can happen with any sort of like jump in. There's another few big moves as well this can happen with. So like Fox full hop backer, right? If he jumps like this and then comes down, again like over here, it's at that 45-degree angle. You know, stuff like even some other things like, you know, maybe puff backer is another big one as well. Because she sort of like jumps a little bit to, like, you're down here, she'll jump over here, and then she can fall down on you, right? Or Nair as well, she'll sometimes do that with. But it can even
Marth
be...
also has a lot of those as well.
Yeah, Marth can do it. It can also happen with some projectiles as well. So, like, Doc Pills go at that 45 degree. Pikachu, Thunder Jolt, Sheik Needles.
Yep.
You know, all of those things, right? So that's a really, like, I guess, like, almost a universal concept versus Falco, is that, like, characters generally want to put themselves in that 45 degree versus him. They don't really want to fight him when he's vertically with you, and they don't really fight him when it's, like, horizontal. So if we go back to the game and just watch these first few things that happen. Right, so we've got a 45 degree here, immediately, right? Same again here.
Yeah.
So, like, she's floating up here, and you jump, and you see how, like, you're jumping, so this is great if she's down here. You know, you jump into her, right? But because you've got this blind spot over here, you're gonna get sort of, like, intercepted, right?
Right.
So that happens there. But then look what happens when she's below you, right? She gets CC shined. And now you're winning, right? Again, this is another one where you sort of, it's that 45 degree, right? So these are the sort of situations. And I mean, these ones aren't exactly like 45 degrees, right? You can see how, like, if we drew an angle here, it's sort of like this. So it's almost like, I don't know, like 30 or 20 or something.
Yeah.
It's not like she's floating up here, which is where it's actually sort of scary. And what this means is some of these heights with Peach that she's jumped at and floating at, you can actually hit her with different moves. So, like, for example, if you shot a laser, for example, that would hit her here if you shot a high one. Or maybe, you know, something like your neutraler can sometimes catch this as well. Or back air.
So that's something I did start to do a little bit later too, is when I noticed that she was floating a lot.
Yeah.
I started throwing out a few more nairs.
Yep. No, that's good.
Just to see if I could, like, catch one of her things in the air.
Yeah. I mean, it's specifically when they're floating at this sort of height where your Nair's in range, right? Because you don't want to do it when she's floating up here.
Yeah.
Because then it's going to go under her, right? But yeah, like Nair, back air can be really good here as well. But yeah, the laser's nice as well because it just drops her out of the float, right? Because she has to fall down now after she gets it out of it. And then, look what happens, you know, she's in line with you, right? And then you sort of get your win condition almost. So that was just to point that out first of all. And it's all about, like, how do your position and, like, your moves interact with, like, where they want to be and where you want to be, you know? Oh, another one is, like, throwing turnips as well, right? Because you can jump and throw them like this. It's sort of tricky to deal with. Yeah. So this is a really great example, I think. So she jumps. She goes a bit higher this time, and you can see it goes over the bear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're at this sort of angle, like this, or let me draw it from this side, actually. So we're at this angle. So we want to either make this more horizontal, so like this sort of angle, or we want to make it more vertical, right? Like maybe this sort of angle.
Right.
So how do you think we can sort of like achieve either of those? Just with your movement, you know, how would you position if you wanted to set up those angles?
I think for some of the higher angles, I would have tried to either CC shine, or I might have like, instead of doing like the back air, maybe like wave dash back and then thrown out like an up tilt.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm just thinking about like, how would you even get to this point where the angle is like this, right? So for example, for the yellow one, you would need to move back here, right? Because once you move back here, suddenly that angle is a lot shallower.
Angle, yeah.
Yeah. And similarly, you know, for the green one, like you said, you know, maybe if you wave dashed into her, then you're sort of under her, right? And now that angle is a lot steeper.
Yeah.
But the idea there is just that instead of fighting at this 45 degree, I want you to try and like reposition instead and sort of set up one of these angles instead.
Right.
Another way you could set up this horizontal one, which I really like as well, is you could go up to the platform, right? And now the angle's like this. And this is, again, like quite good for you. But yeah, generally in these like spots where like you're at a disadvantage here, like the angle isn't very good for you, that's when I'd want to sort of reposition instead of trying to like fight them, essentially. And again, like here, this could be as simple as like just dashing away, jumping away, you know, going like running under her, those sorts of things. It's quite hard because it's Yoshi's, so you don't really have much room to sort of move about. Nice. And yeah, you can see that like as soon as you're in line with her here, you know, you could throw out a lot of things here and it's probably going to hit her, right? You know?
Yeah.
You could down air, you could nair, you could throw out a laser, you know, like you got quite a few things. Again, look, you know, you get under her here, right? And suddenly this is really tough for her, you know, going back to those hitboxes she has. Like, let's look at Falco up tilt quickly. I'm sure you've seen it before, but...
Yeah.
Right? Like, look how big it is in the top,
He goes pretty
right?
far, yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, let's look at Peach again. What does she really have that hits below her? You know, she's in the air, right? So for most characters, it's their down air. And you can see the Peach's down air, right? That's probably the biggest frame for it, is these. But you can see her leg sticks out a bit, right? Like the yellow bit.
Yeah.
So, and there's also a gap between each of these. So it's very easy to, like, hit between it. Especially on the later ones. Like, you can see the leg dips a bit, sort of lower, almost. But yeah, so that's why that position's so strong, right? Is you have a load of great moves hitting above you, because you also have up air as well, right? Like if we look at the up air hitbox, that's also very big, right?
Yeah.
And she doesn't really have many moves, so that makes it quite difficult for her, right? But yeah, and then you can see, you know, this is the one exception, right? So you get this 45, but because you have your back turned, that makes this a lot easier to hit her, right?
Yeah. And then I did not know she could recover from there.
Yeah. So a big thing versus Peach as well is keeping track of her resources. So she has... Obviously, every character has their double jump, right? But then Peach also has the float as well, which makes it a bit trickier. So, like, you take the float here, but you need to still remember that she has the double jump. So then, you know, just, like, grab the ledge or something here. Or one that can be really good versus Peach is just a down smash here. Again, thinking about the hitboxes. So, Peach is up B. If we just watch it quickly, you can see there's this sort of like gap here, right?
Yeah.
And so let's look at down smash quickly. Oh, I can't line up exactly. But you can see that those two shapes are very similar, right? If I just move this pink, you know, if I moved it, say, like over here. Whereas if we looked at forward smash instead, so if I just draw that quickly, you know, it doesn't hit in that same way, and it also moves your body a bit forward. Like, you see how the leg? Yeah. So what happens is the up B, the parasol, sort of hits your leg when you try to do a forward smash. Whereas when you do the down smash, it sort of goes in between her leg and the and her body. And also the legs are invincible, which is quite useful as well.
Is it invincible like the entire time?
So for until the second frame of the hitbox. So the first frame's invincible, and as you're charging it, it's invincible. But then, you know, once you get to here, it's...
I knew about the charge invincibility, because I saw...
there's clips of it. Twitter. Yeah. But yeah, like, pretty much the whole startup of it in the first active frame is invincible. But yeah, if we go back to this, you can see how that down smash would hit, like, perfectly here, right?
Yeah.
Like, if I just play this a couple frames forward... So going back to that Peach hitbox, right? There was that blind spot here. And you can see how the forward smash sort of moves you into the parasol hitbox, which is sort of like here. But then the down smash would like hit between, right? So that's something really useful. But that was just sort of an example of like how if I was playing against a character I'm a bit unfamiliar with, I might look at their hitboxes to see like where mine sort of like interact well with theirs, you know? And I think that's really useful to do at the very least for all of the like, you know, top tiers, like the characters you'll play against quite a bit. Like I wouldn't say it's completely necessary with, you know, like Ness or something. But, yeah. Okay, so how much time do we have? Got about half an hour, 25 minutes-ish. So I just thought, look if there's anything sort of like glaringly obvious. But I think for now, that's honestly enough work. Is just like, you know, literally just watch this VOD or any of the other ones you have versus Peach, and try and figure out, you know, is this a good spot for me or is this a bad spot for me? Just based off of those like rules I sort of gave you, of like, you know, being in line with her is good, being at that 45 is bad if your front's turned, and think about her sort of hitboxes in each of those positions, and how yours sort of like match up with those, you know. And it looks like, you know, some of these spots you already have a good sense for, you know. You're using up till when she's above you. You're using like your nair and your down air and stuff when she's in line with you. I'd say it's those spots where you're in the bad position, right? Like here, for example.
Yeah.
That is going wrong. And again, like I said, that's just sort of like, you want to just move out of the way, create a different angle, right? But I'd say the biggest thing that's been missing from this is actually just lasers, right?
Yeah, that was something that, watching it like the first time through a moment ago, I was like, wait, where's my lasers?
Yeah, why am I pressing B, right? And so I think that segues quite nicely into some of the tech I want you to practice. So when we talked about that float height before, I specifically said about you need to shoot a high laser, right?
Yeah.
On the one before. And so if you don't have very good control over your laser height, then, you know, if you shoot like down here by accident, then you're just going to get hit anyway, right? And it doesn't really solve anything. So that's the way you need to have like really good control over that. And it especially comes up in some other matchups. So like Moth, for example, if they're crouching, you know, you want to shoot a low laser, right?
Yeah.
So now
that happen with Sheik and Puff.
Yeah, Sheik, Puff. Some characters can run under a bit easier, some characters can jump over a bit easier. So like Falcon, for example, you want to be shooting nice and high because he's quite tall, so he can't really go under that easy. So yeah, so let's jump into Uncle Punch now. So we already have those sorts of like 3 things from before that we talked about, right?
Right.
Which was the dash dance, doing the attacks on shield. I think there's one more, or maybe there was only 2.
Training mode. Vertical.
Yeah, it was
Mostly
pretty
those 2.
much those 2. The other thing was like breaking down wave shine, and then
Yep. Okay.
just following up faster.
Yeah. So let's talk about the wave shine one first of all. So are you able to like share your screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like go into Uncle Punch or whatever.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So if you want to go into training lab. If you back out quickly, actually, and go to press L. Yeah. Which one is it? Try putting on just wave dash info and spacey tech for the moment.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure if these are the right ones, but we'll find out. Yeah. Yeah, just set it to like any normal character. Kirby's going to be a bit weird to do it on. Yeah, just Fox or something, I don't know. Falcon, yeah. Okay, yeah, just go FD. So just show me the wave shines first of all, without you hitting the character. Oh, can you press start, actually?
Oh, yeah.
And put the info... it's in the general, and then input display.
There we go.
Lovely. Cool. Yeah, just do it without hitting the character for now, just so I can see them. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think they look fine for now. What I'd want you to do, like, to aim for is 2 things. So when you do that, like, shine wave dash, you can see there's 2 numbers that come up, right?
Yeah.
So you want to try and get that wave dash frame as low as possible. So that's how quickly you're pressing the trigger after you've jumped. So if you want to do one again. So that was a really good one, right? So you got 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that was you pressed it as soon as you could after you went into the air. And then the second one is the angle, right? Because that's going to determine how far you go. And for that one, you want to get as low an angle as possible. As low a number. Yeah, there you go. And a good way to see if you've done a smooth one as well is... so if you watch Falco when he does a nice wave dash, he sort of ducks down and then goes forward and then comes back up, right? It's sort of like a U shape.
Right.
Whereas if you get a choppy one, you can see how it's sort of like just a diagonal line, like sort of down, is how I'd sort of see it, right? And also sometimes he makes the sound, right? But yeah, so far those look really good. So if you, try doing it out of the shine again. And I like the method you're using, so you're sort of like sliding the stick from down to forward, which is nice. Lovely, okay. Yeah, so anytime you get a jump out of it, that just means that you press the trigger too early. And so you're pressing the trigger whilst you're in like the jump squat. So that's why that's happening. But yeah, no, those look pretty good so far. So if you want to try it on the CPU now, so if you just run to the middle of the stage and press down on the D-pad, that's just going to teleport him.
Wait.
Yeah, just run into the middle and then press right on the D-pad. That's going to set a save state. And then once you've hit him away, you can press left. And it'll reset you.
I did.
Oh. Okay.
You said left and then I pressed right anyway. I don't know
why.
why.
Okay, yes. Press right. And then press left. Yeah, there you go. That'll make it a lot quicker. Cool. So let me try see you try that a few times. Sorry. Nice. Okay. Yeah, so the only thing that changes between when you do it without hitting the opponent and with hitting them, the only thing you need to change is when you press the jump out of the shine. Everything else stays exactly the same. So as long as you've got it down, on when you haven't hit them with those wave dashes, which you look pretty clean with, the only thing I want you to think about is jumping differently. So to start off with, just try shining them and then jumping out. And see if you can get that timing down first. Nice. Cool, okay. So now try it with that wave dash. Or with the sequence you were doing before, right? And just think about that X timing that you did. Or whatever button you use. Y timing.
Yeah.
Cool. And for this one, you're just looking for that wave dash frame. So you want that to be as close to 1. Lovely, that was perfect. That was a great one. Nice. Nice, look at these. 16.
I have notches on my controller.
Yeah, no, so do I. I'm a shameless notch user as well. Don't worry. This is a safe space for notch users. But yeah, no, that's good. I mean, if you got notches, you may as well use them, right?
Right.
That's how I feel. Yeah, okay, so it seems like you have a good idea with that one now. So like I said, the only difference is that when you're pressing the jump button, for on hit versus not hitting them. So let me write that down. Wave shine. Look for wave dash frame number. Possible. To get the timing down. Cool. Okay. I'm just trying to think if we want to go over the next step here. Okay. So what I want you to do is if you press start and just back out of here, and just go to training lab again, and I want you to pick Peach. And just press start and go to FD and set it to the middle of the stage, and then be next to her and just set up a save state. Yep, and then go to CPU options, and I just want you to put this to none. Trajectory DI none, smash DI none. And smash the direction, it doesn't matter. Per percent to maybe like, let's go with like 20. Let me just see this quickly. Yeah, this should be fine. Okay, yeah, so if you want to back out of that, and then just quickly go to recording. Let's see if this works for you, and just do save positions. Just, yeah, press A on that quickly. And then do export. At the bottom. No device. Oh, okay. I think I know what it is. Can you go on to Dolphin quickly? I think there's like a thing where you can put a memory card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just go onto that Dolphin tab you had before. I think it's config GameCube, and then under slot A put memory card, and then do close. And now try going into the game again. Sorry to make you go through this. It just makes it a lot easier to like practice this if you have a save state, because the combo training's not that great for it sometimes. Yes, training lab. Yep. And then yeah, all the same steps. Yep, Peach.
Yep.
Yeah, so it was CPU options. Yep.
CPU.
Yep, and then just turn off all the DI stuff. So just, yeah, put that to none. Smash DI to none. Percent to 20. Yep, save position, then try export. Yep, and then just put test or something. I just want to see if this actually works. Did you set up the save state, by the way? Or
yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so just press start. And then just quit out. So just do like LRA start or press B. It's the hardest second of the game. Alright, yes, go to Training Lab now. And do import. A. And then, yep, press select. Cool. And now try Shining Peach. Lovely. Okay. Alright, so what I want you to practice with this is, and you can use this for practicing the wave shine as well, is I just want you to wave shine Peach first of all. Nice. And then I want you to try and jump and hit her with like a move. So like probably up air here. Or back air, one of the two. And yeah, if she air dodges out, that just means you've been a bit slow. But that's fine, you know, we can speed up. Oh, she DI'd at that time. Interesting. Okay. Go back maybe. CPU options. Oh, reset it, that's annoying.
I wonder if I should set this first, then save it?
Yeah, maybe. Try that. And then export. Yeah. I wasn't 100% sure if it'll work like this, but I wanted to just try it anyway. Okay, yeah, try again. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so just try that for a little bit. So do a wave shine and then try and jump up and hit her afterwards. Oh, I should that time.
Okay, yeah.
Whatever. I mean, you're gonna have to learn to, what's it called, do the different DIs eventually anyway, but, nice. Ooh. Yeah, so a couple of things I want you to sort of look for here. So first of all is how quickly you're moving out of the wave dash once you've done it. Because if you're a bit too slow, then you won't be able to like reach her in time, right?
Right.
So you need to move quite quickly out of the way dash. And the second one is how you're doing your jump. So, for example, if I just try and full hop there here, it's not going to work, right? Because she's too high up.
Yeah.
But if I do a full hop and then like double jump quickly out of it, then I can get up there, right? So do you want to give that a quick go? And see if you can get up? Yeah. So I'd maybe delay that bear a little bit. Sorry, not the bear. The double jump.
Oh, like in the air? Oh,
Yeah, there you
instead
go.
of doing it this early, but like
Yeah, because the more you delay it, the higher you'll go, right? And we want to get a bit higher. Just try doing it without the wave shine first. Just try doing like full hop, double jump there. Like without even shining, like literally just on the ground like this. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Okay. Yeah, and so like that sort of thing is important because obviously like when you shine Peach at different percents or any character, you know they're gonna go to different heights, right?
yeah.
So you need to be able to manipulate your jump to be able to reach all of these spots. You know, sometimes you just need a full hop. Sometimes you might need to do full hop double jump. Sometimes, you know, you might only need short hop double jump. You know, it really depends on the situation and how you have to sort of time it. But the end goal with this is I'd want you to be able to have Peach at sort of any percent, and you wave shine her, and you know how to reach her with your movement. Right? So if you, like, watch me quickly, you can see that, like, regardless of what DI she does here, I know how to sort of manipulate my movement and my jump and all of that to be able to hit her, right? So that's sort of the end goal. And so what we've set up here is just like a simplified version of that, where she's always going to, well, hopefully she's always going to go the same way. And it's one of the easier follow-ups because you don't really have to do like a tricky dash or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and you can see when I was doing these, like, again, going back to what we talked about last time, like, if you look at the position after, you know, she's above, right?
Right.
Whereas if you do it badly and say you end up, like, above her, like this or something, then that's when it doesn't look as good, right, for you. So that's also another reason why it's quite important with how you control it. But yeah, that's something that, like, once you're comfortable with the wave shine input, I'd want you to start working on, is just following up on, you know, how they DI it. Does that all make sense?
Uh-huh.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. So... Okay, so let's talk about lasers for the next thing, I think. So for this one, we want to probably go into training lab. Did we talk about lasers at all?
Training mode.
Last time I don't think so.
Don't think so? Okay. So the easiest one for this, I find, there's a couple things you can do. So you could just set it to Fox, first of all. So the first one that I think you want to try and get good at, or one of the easier ones to get good at. So this is going to be all about controlling your heights. So, you know, you can just turn around how Fox where he is, it doesn't really matter. And I want you to try and shoot over Fox. So you can see how if I do these lasers like this, I'm going over him, right?
Yeah.
So do you have any sort of ideas on, like, how you get the different heights with lasers?
I would assume it's fast fall timing.
That can be part of it, yeah. There's also quite another big aspect of it. So I can set this up quickly just to show you. Cool, so I'm just going to frame by frame this. So these two lasers have the exact same fast fall timing. Because usually when you fast fall a laser, you're doing the fast fall as soon as possible. Because you want to get to the ground as soon as possible, right? So if you're fast falling at the same time, then the only thing that's going to change is when you press the B button, right? Like when you actually like physically pull the gun out. So if I put on the input display here, so I've just recorded myself shooting a high laser and a low laser. And so you can see with this one, this is a high laser. And I press B about 4 frames into my jump, so quite early into it, right? I think this is the yeah. And you'll see that this gives me a laser that goes sort of like pretty high over Fox, right? But then if we look at the second one, if I jump, so I mean, you know, count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, I pressed B on the 8th frame there instead, right?
I see.
And so it's when you press the B button that determines what laser height you get. Like you said, you can also change it with the fast fall timing, but that's going to make your lasers a bit slower, which we don't usually want. Because yeah, in both of these I press down at the exact same time, so the only thing that's changing is the B press. So what I want you to try and do first of all is when you do your laser, just try and press B as fast as possible when you jump. So if you want to try that. There you go, that was a good one.
Oh.
So a funny thing with this as well, actually, is that the fastest possible laser you can do isn't actually the highest one, because you actually shoot whilst you're still rising. So there is a tiny bit of a delay you want, but essentially the faster you press B, for the most part, the higher the laser will be. But yeah, so I think this is a good drill for this, where you're essentially aiming to go over Fox's head, and I think there's about 2 or 3 B press timings that will do that. So yeah, if you just want to try that a few more times until you feel like you have the sort of the rhythm down for it. Some people like to learn this with a metronome or something like that as well. I think there's a few posts about that, for getting the timing down of like when you want to press B relative to when you jump. So that could be something to look into as well. Yeah, so that's the premise with that. Shooting the higher one, you just want to press B pretty much as fast as you can after you jump. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you hit his head, that's still a bit better than, you know, like hitting his torso, right? Or hitting his legs.
Yeah, hitting his leg.
Yeah. Okay, so sort of the inverse of that is to try and hit quite low. So for this one, I like to use, you can either use a short character, so like Puff, for example. And with Puff, only the lower lasers are going to hit, right? Yeah, so if you want to go into game, it doesn't have to be the absolute lowest one, but it's something like the lowest 2 or the lowest 3 or something like that will hit. So that's quite useful as well. And I'm pretty sure the lasers that hit Puff are the ones that, or some of the ones that are good versus Moth, like crouching as well, for example. So that's quite useful. And if you want to do it hard mode, you could use Link, because you can try and shoot under his shield.
Oh yeah.
Which is quite hard, but and there's a bit of RNG there with like how he's wiggling about when he's moving or whatever. But yeah, this can also be a good one because you can try and shoot either over his shield or under his shield. But it's just something to aim for, so it makes it a bit more like interactive, right? There you go. But you know, even seeing like where you hit on the shield can be good. You know, you can even shoot it over Link as well if you're good enough at it. But yeah, so that's the first part with the lasers, I'd say. And how that was relevant versus Peach, right, was that if we can shoot those high ones, then we can sort of snipe her out of the air, right?
Right.
And then the second part is, again, using Pokemon Stadium. So similar to the dash dance, you know, we were aiming for different parts, right, with the dash dance. You can also do that with your lasers. So if we start on this grey thing again. Yeah, just go to Pokemon. So like with your laser, you can reach pretty much every part of the Pokeball if you execute it in different ways. So, for example, if I just do a standard, like jump forward laser, I'm going to get to this white bit, right? So do you want to try that one first of all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. But then you can also get to, say, like this red bit with a laser. So for this one, how you do this is you flick the stick and then you press jump, rather than flicking the stick and pressing jump at the same time. Yeah, there you go, right? And then you can also reach like the outer edge of the Pokeball by just pressing jump and then pressing forward on the stick. And you're probably going to end up side Bing a lot when you try this, because it's a very similar input. Yeah, there you go. but yeah, so this is really useful because if your only types of lasers you have are, say, in place and moving forward, right? It sort of limits the ranges and the spacings you can play out, right?
Right.
Like, because this is a very big distance between these two. Whereas if you have control of like all these little like micro places you can go to, that gives you so much more control over your character, and you can really like pick the positions you want. Like maybe you just want a space like just outside of Link's range here, right? So you do this sort of laser. Or maybe you're a bit further back so you can go all the way. Or maybe you're a bit closer so you only want to move forward a little bit, right? And all those are really important. And similarly, you can do that moving backwards as well. So if we start from the Pokeball here, I can do a laser that puts me on the edge of the Pokeball. I can do one that puts me on the grey bit, right?
Right.
And again, the difference between those is one of them you release the stick before you jump, and the other you press the jump whilst you're doing the stick. So for the one where you go really far, you want to almost like enter a dash jump, essentially. Like you're dash jumping away, and then there you go, and then you flick the stick the other way and press B. Wait, again, you're going to end up side Bing a lot with these as well. There you go, you got it. But yeah, I would add this drill in as well to like the dash dance one you do on this stage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can start to combine them if you want. You know how you were saying you were like sometimes like shining out of the dash dance and stuff like that? You can also do that with these lasers as well. So you could, for example, dash dance and then approaching laser, or like dash back, dash in, or that, or this, And eventually you want to have full control, So you never feel like you're getting sort of stuck.
Right.
So we have heights. So early B press equals early high laser, late B press, low laser. And also, once you've got both of those down, think about, maybe I want to jump forward with a low laser, or maybe I want to jump forward with a high laser, or maybe I want to retreat with a high laser, And it's sort of combining all of those together. Because that's what you're going to need in the game, right? Think about that spot where you're, Peach is coming into you, and you're sort of in the corner like this, and you want to get away. You need to be able to do a retreating high laser, Or, you want to approach a crouching moth, you need to be able to do an approaching low laser, right?
Yeah.
So all that stuff is really, really important. So heights, and then spacings, I'll call this, I guess. So how you press the stick and jump together changes how you jump with the laser. Practice hitting the different parts. Combine the dash dances with the laser jumps. combine spacings and heights together. Cool. Let's see if there's any. I'll have a quick think if there's anything else super big, but that is already like quite a lot, you know, with the lasers and the wave shine and, you know, all the stuff we talked about beforehand as well. I'd say the final one that you didn't seem too comfortable with was actually the ledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like you don't feel too confident on it either. So for now, I'm not going to get you to do anything crazy like ledge dashing or anything like that.
Okay.
All I want you to do is let's go to Battlefield for this. So what I want you to get comfortable doing, first of all, is just dropping from the ledge and then jumping on the stage. On both sides. So, yep. Because a lot of people here, you know, they might get Battlefielded or something, right? When they try to do this.
Yeah.
So does that feel good, first of all? I mean, it looks pretty consistent to me. So now try doing it with an aerial. Nice. Okay, that looks good. And now try reaching the platform with it. That's the hard part. Well, that's one of the harder bits. So for this one, you just need to not fall as far. And you might want to press back instead also. Oh. Do you press down to drop from the ledge? Just out of curiosity.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that one isn't as important then, but it can be useful sometimes. Okay. So how do you feel about stuff like lasers from the edge?
Like
double laser from the edge?
I've tried it a bit. Like I've tried practicing it before, but I can't get the timing down.
Okay. Let me see you do it quickly. So I'll record myself doing it with down quickly, just to give you a sort of a reference again. Those are quite high, but it's just sort of exaggerates it. Input display. Right, so I'm going to press down. And then you can see I'm pressing B like quite soon after I've jumped. And that's the key with it, is pressing B like quickly after you've jumped.
I just got one right after you said that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. As soon as you said that, I was like, wait, let me try that.
Yeah. So that's the hard part, is pressing B quick enough.
Oop.
Because that can happen, right?
Yeah.
Or the other one that can happen is you side B on stage. Because,
right.
Because, yeah, you're holding forward. And then the part that helps you get them lower is falling down a bit further. Let me turn off frame bands. So you can see if I fall a bit lower, then
yeah,
they'll go lower, right? And if I want to go higher, I need to jump higher. The other thing some people do, so some people will tap jump this. So if you want to watch my stick quickly, you can see how low those can go, right?
When I watched the video on double laser, they were recommending to do tap jump for it.
Yeah.
And when I was trying it out like that day, I could not get my thumb to function properly to do it, so I was just jumping like I normally did.
Yeah, so I think for now, just try it with down. You know, you can get them pretty low. Well, not pretty low, but, you know, a decent height with down. But, you know, either tap jump or clawing is something you might want to invest in the future. The reason you do that is just because, like I said, it's all about how quickly you press B after you do the jump. And when you jump and press B with the same finger or thumb, it means that, you know, you're going to be slower, right? Like, because there's a travel time. Like, you literally, I don't think you can get it, you know, in the same amount of time that you can with tap jump or claw. The only thing I can think of is, do you jump with X or Y?
I've been jumping with Y.
Okay, what you might be able to do is, so I jump with X personally, so this doesn't work for me. But you might be able to, so press Y and then hit B with, like, the bony part of your thumb, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Like how the like, it's like the strumming technique for multi-shines.
Yeah, same sort of thing. Because the multi-shine one, again, is all about how quickly you press B. So, like, when I tried that just then, I got it quite low doing that as well.
I just...
Damn, hidden advantage of using Y. Who'd have known? Yeah, those are really low, right? Like,
that's how I also got, like, double lasers with Fox.
Yeah.
Short hop double lasers. I got it doing that a couple times.
Yeah. Damn, I did not know you could get it that low with Y, if you jump with Y. Yeah, so that's probably something to look into, actually, as well. Is doing it that way. Because changing your grip for something from ledge is a bit of a bigger commitment, I feel like. And then the other one to just get good at, it sounds really stupid, but literally side B from the ledge. If you do that well, like,
yeah.
it's really good. It's really good.
That's something that I've been, like, looking at more as an option.
Yeah, and again, the big things with this is you want to get it low to the ground. You want to press side B as quick as possible as soon as you jump. Obviously, so that you're still above the stage. And you also want to make sure you're dropping from the ledge as soon as possible, because that gives you the most, like, invincibility to work with. To tell if you're... I don't know whether you can do that, actually. Just check quickly.
Oh, for,
Okay, you can use ledge dash train to see it.
Oh, cool.
So, like, with that one, my cliff weight was 2, right? So, yeah, you could use this to practice it, actually. I didn't even know it let you do that, to be honest. I don't know why it isn't doing it for you randomly. Oh, try just, like, refreshing first. Like, just double jump to the ledge, for example. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, as you can see, you're spending quite a while on the ledge, right? Before you jump. So,
yeah.
A nice cue for it that I was actually told quite recently is just to look for the bubble that comes when you grab the ledge, right? On your hand.
Oh.
And if you just think about when that bubble's going to appear, that's when you want to jump. There you go, you got one there, right? Yeah, right? It's so silly how, like, all these little tricks, like, you know, if you're never told about them, like, yeah, it's so hard otherwise. Yeah, exactly right. Okay, cool. And then the final one I'd recommend you to just think about is just wave landing to the platform from the ledge. I'm just giving you a load of easy ones to start with, and then we can look into ledge dashing another time. Because I think that's a bit too advanced at the moment. But double laser, side B, and like wave landing to the platform should be more than enough, honestly, at your level. So if you just go to Battlefield. Yeah, just try wave landing to the platform from the ledge. You might want to try it on Yoshi's first, because Yoshi's has a lower platform.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This is another one, yeah.
I think when I was doing, like, Fox practice, I had only gotten it on Battlefield once.
Yep. It is harder with
Yoshi's
Fox.
was, like... yeah. He jumps a lot shorter, too.
Yeah, this is another thing that's actually a bit harder with down, just because you'll you
you
go a
start
lot
to
lower,
drop.
right? Really fast. Yeah. But like, yeah, I'm doing this with down at the moment, and you can get like a pretty clean waveland with that. Yeah, don't worry about the cliff weight thing yet. That's just something to keep in mind. Yeah, just try and get like the right double jump height to be in line with it. It might be worth, again, just practice doing like drop from the ledge double jump and try and get as high as possible with that. There you go. Yeah, so you just need to be a bit quicker with it by the looks of it. Yeah, if you do it to one of the higher ones, yeah, you get that way. You like sort of no impact land. Which is kind of funny, but I don't know how much gallon that gets actually. That gives you 8 frames of intangibility. That's pretty funny. Okay. Sorry, that was just a stupid aside. But yeah, so I'd practice those 2 things. Or 3 things, sorry. Like double lasers, side B, waveland, and just make sure you're dropping from the ledge quite quickly as well. So you can, like I say, you can just check that in ledge dash trainer, and you want to look for that little bubble that comes up when you grab the ledge, right?
Yeah.
Lasers and then ledge. So side B from ledge, low to the ground. Double laser, press B ASAP after jumping, and then in ledge dash trainer. Cool. Okay, so I'll send you this document now. How's it looking now? Do you feel like you can jump a bit higher, or?
I almost have the timing down, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I said, just work on it. I mean, if you want to try moving to back as well, if that makes some stuff easier, you can do as well. It's really up to you. I find back a lot easier for some stuff from ledge, but that's just how I've always done it. So it's really up to you. You can do a lot of things with both.
I'm trying to figure out how to do back without
going forward,
drifting back.
Oh yeah, you just want to like flick back rather than hold back. I think that's how I'd describe it. Yeah. But then the hard part with back is, say you're trying to do like double lasers, not like turning around and, and doing them, for example.
Doing this.
Yeah, or that. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let me end my stream. But yeah, so I've just sent you the Google Doc, which has like the training stuff in. So you should be able to edit that as well, I think.
It's on Metafy.
Oh no, it's on just in Discord. I just sent it over in the chat.
Wait, I'm not seeing it.
Let me try again. There we go. Try now. Yeah. And just see if you can write in that.
I have to request edit access.
Okay, wait. Let me try sharing again. Editor. Just delete this one quickly. Yeah, just close the web page and then
Okay.
open this one and see if you can do it.
Yep, there we go. And then I do have a couple of questions.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I like how I said I have a couple questions, but I'm not starting with a question. So I'm a content creator, right? I stream, I make YouTube videos, and I'm gonna be starting this. Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be starting this thing soon, where I'm gonna do like 100 days of Melee, like playing every single day, at least for like somewhere between 2 to 4 hours.
Okay. Nice.
And I was wondering if, like, do you think it would be a good idea as like part of that? I know you have the like Falco kind of like 101 thing where it's like the 5 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it would be a good idea for me to like invest in that, and like work on the things that I learned for that, like throughout the 100 days? I mean, my goal here is just to become a better player over the course of 100 days. So I'm not sure.
What like the best
do
sort of
that,
thing.
or like just buy sessions every like week or 2 weeks or something.
Yeah. Okay. Let me have a quick look. And I mean, what we can do also is if there isn't one that I've already got pre-existing that like sort of works best for you, I can always create one that I think would work best for you, like the best sort of blend of things.
Right.
The beginner Falco like 101 thing is at the moment it's more like just lots of little like PowerPoints and stuff like that with like information in. So it really depends on like how you think you sort of learn best.
Right.
So yeah, let me have a think about that actually. First, I mean, so let me just look on the thing quickly. So that one's like $90, 5 sessions. So I could come up with something that I think might be more like tailored to what you need. That's around that price as well. Or just something like that. I do also have one that's literally just like it's something like 5 lessons for the price of 6, and you can just use them for whatever you want. But yeah, I'd just say if you're doing 100 days, maybe do one lesson every like 20 days or something, maybe to give you stuff to work on. Something like that. I wouldn't want to like overload you, obviously, because you've already got quite a lot here. But no, I mean that sounds like quite a fun challenge, to be honest. Sounds quite cool.
So then I think with that, so far that's the only thing I wanted to ask about, like just trying to figure out how I should plan out those sessions. Like I'm still also in the middle of planning like a week by week for that.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I'm gonna put some of the specific things that I need to work on in that as well, on top of just like the general practice and all that.
Okay. I think what I'll do, so I'll go away and like think of a couple of questions, sort of like I'll just ask you them in Discord or something, and then we can sort of figure out what sort of training plan will be best for that, or what sort of schedule for sessions or whatever. Because it does sound like you probably want to look at something that's a bit more like tailored to what you need, rather than just like one of the general ones I have available.
Yeah, at least in order for I think in order for me to try and get like the best results possible, that'd probably be ideal.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, as always, if you've got any other questions with any of that, let me know. And I'll try and respond when I can. Yeah, otherwise I will see you next time, I guess.
All right.
And yeah, good luck with the program.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, cool. I'll see you in a bit.
All right. You have a good evening.